for life number 5. There is no such thing as bad emotions or bad feelings or even bad thoughts. There are only bad reactions to these things. You see, we're all human. We all have negative feelings towards others or fantasize about doing bad or even naughty things. But that doesn't make you bad. Thoughts are just thoughts. They come and they go. Don't beat yourself up over them or think less of yourself for having them. You should only examine them closely if one becomes obsessive and you dwell on it day and night, every day. At that point, you might want to seek some help. And by the way, there's no shame in ever seeking help. This rule reminds me of a story that I once heard. Once upon a time, in the flourishing city of El, there dwelled a wise woman known as Sage. People from all walks of life sought out Sage's guidance, for she was known to possess a deep understanding of humanity and of the human experience. One day, a distressed man named Ethan arrived at Sage's humble abode carrying a heavy burden. He hesitantly approached Sage and said, "Dear Sage, I have been tormented by these dark thoughts and feelings lately. Thoughts of anger and resentment towards those who have wronged me as a child. I fear that these thoughts make me a bad person, but I am a village leader. I am a husband and a father. It's just that sometimes I get so angry and I imagine the most terrible things." Sage, with a kind and serene smile, beckoned Ethan to sit beside her. "My dear Ethan, you are not alone in wrestling with such thoughts," she said. "Every human experiences a wide range of emotions, even negative ones. We all entertain passing thoughts that may not align with our ideal selves. Tell me, have you ever acted on these dark feelings?" "No," Ethan said, eyes widening with shock. "I would never." "Then what is your issue?" she asked. Ethan's shoulders slumped as if two great hands pressed them down. "How can I be a good person if sometimes I consider harming my coworker or even saying monstrous things to my wife and child? I feel like I am a monster." Sage slowly shook her head. "It is not our thoughts and emotions themselves that define our character, but rather our reactions to them. Think what you will, but always act with moral integrity. The true monsters among us do not restrain themselves. They move through the world pulled by their emotions, lashing out with tongue and fist. Is that you?" "No," Ethan said. "But how can I control my reactions, Sage? These thoughts and feelings bring about guilt and shame in me, whether I act them out or not." Sage gently placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder and replied, "Listen closely. Thoughts and emotions are like passing clouds in the vast sky of our minds. They come and they go, transient and unpredictable. We cannot always control them, much like we cannot control the ebb and flow of tides. However, we hold the greatest power in the universe within us, the power to choose how we respond to anything that occurs in our lives. This is the power of humanity. A kicked dog will either bite, bark, or flee, but a kicked human can choose from an infinite range of reactions. Tell me, Ethan, would you let a thirsty stranger come into your home for a drink of water?" "Yes," Ethan replied. "Would you let them sleep in your bed, wear your clothes, and take your place as husband and father?" Ethan rose to his feet and yelled out, "Of course not. Never would I allow such a thing." Sage smiled. "Of course you wouldn't. That same holds true for emotion. You must let the emotion come and go like a visitor to your home. Emotions may stay, but only for a short while. Then, when it is time for them to go, walk them to the door and bid them farewell. If you allow these negative thoughts and emotions to linger in you, They will consume your very being. If you let them guide your actions and nurture ill intentions, then you will veer towards a path of darkness and become what you fear the most, a monster. However, if you acknowledge these thoughts as temporary visitors, accepting them without judgment, and consciously choosing not to act upon them, then you demonstrate strength and integrity. Ethan's eyes widened with understanding, and a glimmer of hope appeared in his gaze. So it is not the thoughts and feelings themselves that define me, but rather how I choose to act upon them? Sage nodded with a wise smile. Precisely, my dear. Our character is shaped by the choices we make, the actions we take, and the way we treat others. By resisting the urge to act on destructive thoughts and instead nurturing compassion, forgiveness, and understanding, then we align ourselves ever with the path of goodness. Ethan thanked Sage for her wise advice, and he went on to serve as a great leader amongst his people. He always was known for his even temper and wisdom. And though from time to time, when he got angry, his countenance would grow dark, never did he lose his temper and lash out hurtfully at others. Thoughts are just thoughts. And unless they become obsessive, unless those visitors refuse to leave your mind, then treat them as such. However, if you have reoccurring thoughts of harm to yourself and others, thoughts that come every day, thoughts that grow dangerously close to you acting them out, then do as Ethan did and seek wise guidance. Get help from a professional. But if you're just harboring the occasional bad thought or dark feeling, understand that that is very human. We all do it. Thank you for listening.